on your screen right now are the rankings for the NA and EU fall split. Today I'm going to be showcasing what I believe to be the top 5 biggest losers for this split. When I say that, it's not that these teams necessarily played poorly, they didn't do well. They're on this, they were playing in the main events, and that's what counts. But they missed out is the biggest key here. So we're going to start with some honorable mentions. First things that come to mind, they're a team not on this list. Noble Esports for South America, they were 1 point away. They were 3rd in their region. Only 2 teams from South America get to go, and they were 1 point off, which is very unfortunate for them. Other than that, I'd say most of the other regions kind of panned out how they should. We don't know the APAC team yet.
Hold on. I said, hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Allow me to correct myself. We know who's going to be the APAC team. It's Tokyo Verde. Congrats to Realize, Maru, and Tenau. Realize has been competing in like high level or higher level RLCS events for quite some time. He was on Gaming Gamers, competing in the OCE region not too long ago, which is kind of crazy to think about. But yeah, now he's going to be representing like his native country of Japan and Stockholm, which is sick. They beat Pulse 4-0. I guess 3-0, so they had a game advantage. But RIP Pulse, they were looking really good. I know Maxiu was like actually the top performer from this event, from this qualifier. So tough for them. They should bounce back. Pulse and Tokyo Verde are going to keep dueling it out though for whoever represents APAC. The second honorable mention there. Both teams deserve to go, and it's a shame that we can't have 2. Now getting into the top 5 here, I'm going to start in Europe. I'm going to go to the Vodafone Giants. Vodafone Giants picked up the roster of Team Queso from the previous RLCS season, and they won an event. They were a top 6 team in Europe last year. Atomic Demensa and VK Salem just couldn't put it together for this fall split. So hopefully they figured out, or if they make a roster change. I know Europe is crazy with roster changes, so I would not be surprised, but I have hopes that at least some sort of that core from that Team Queso team last year that was very exciting, very mechanical, can return. My 4th biggest loser in the 4th spot here is Torrent. On the NA side, they were a very hyped up team with Alpine the previous season, like Jordan, Magic Bear, and Percy. They lost Percy in the offseason, picked up Kinsey. I think they can be really good. They're not consistent yet. There's a big discrepancy between them and Xset, the team ahead of them. It's 150 points. That's a top 8 finish, and Torrent hasn't made playoff bracket yet. And so that's going to be their next step for me, for them going to the winter split, is to try and stay a bit more consistent. They didn't even qualify for the 3rd regional event, so they need to make sure that they're on every single regional event in the main stage, trying to make playoffs every single time. I'm going to do a tie, so I'm going to cheat. There's going to be 6 here. But the 3rd biggest loser is Version 1 and Misfits Gaming. Both teams had a top 8 and a top 4 in the first 2 regionals, and then they bottomed out in Regional 3, which is unfortunate for them because they basically, if they made playoffs and some other teams lost that were in front of them on the leaderboard, they were in. They were in for the major. They were that close, and they bottomed out, went 0-3 and only got 40 points. Got sent home packing. I want to see Arju attaining Cash on LAN. I want to see Calm with Torment and Gimmick on LAN. I want that to happen. They deserve it. They're both really great teams. They need to be consistent. And I was praising Misfits for being consistent going into this regional, and then they bottomed out. So that goes to show what I know. The second biggest loser, you might be thinking it's Evil Geniuses because they are the first team out on European side. I think they actually had a pretty good split. So it's not Evil Geniuses. It's the team below them, Carmine Corp. On paper, Stake, Itachi, and Astral should be in the top 3 in Europe. Hands down, no questions asked. Book it. That has not been the case. They had a top 4, Regional 1, and then they bottomed out. They went 0-3 in Regional 2. And then this time they lose in the first round of Regional 3. They just don't seem like they have a lot of vocal leadership. They seem really off. They don't seem like they're on the same page. So it's tough to see them not performing well. I think they're going to come back and do even better in the winter split, but for them to be on the outside looking in here, they need to tighten up the screws.
Ready? That was awesome. You're rocking, but it's a little sloppy Joe. Tighten up the screws, okay? Basically.
And it wasn't looking good for them. I had no hope for them coming into this, and then I saw that they made playoffs, and the scenarios in front of them were looking great, and then they just couldn't pull it through in the quarterfinals today. Now, the biggest loser of the fall split is going to be no surprise to anybody. It is Space Station Gaming. they tied. They literally had to go to a tiebreaker. They did not do enough to put them into the major, and they let Complexity come snag that spot from them, essentially. Complexity, former True Neutral team, they're from South America. You guys should know them. Vamos! Complexity Gaming beat Space Station Gaming in 7 games in that tiebreaker, and that is why Space Station is the biggest loser. Arsenal, Reddles, Sypical, we're all looking at you to come back in the winter split, come back stronger. You guys are going to be the villains of NA in the winter split, and there's no doubt about it. But a team that has won multiple championship, or like multiple events before, has consistently been in the conversation for top 3 in the previous season. They needed to show up. They needed to be in that 600 point range 100%. There's no doubt in my mind that they should have played better this split. And I don't know if it's the competition becoming a little bit tougher, or they just got unlucky with some sort of bracketing, but 500 points isn't going to cut it for a team that's supposed to be top 3. And there you have it. Those are the biggest losers of the RLCS 2021-2022 fall split. If I did not talk about your team, kind of a good thing, theoretically, because that means they're not one of the biggest losers. If they're still on the outside looking in, I'm sure there's things that they can grow on. But going into the winter split, it's open for anybody, basically. Like, there's so many random things that can happen in this that if you show up on a day, you might put yourself in a good chance to continue to compete for a major spot. Thank you guys again for watching. This has been RLCS Spotlight. Please leave a like on this video and subscribe if you are new. Comment down below if I said something mean about your team and it made you sad. But make sure to check out the website as well. I'm going to be having some new articles posted on there this weekend, and I plan to upload some more clips on there as well from some of the best Rocket League goals from this past weekend. So if you want to see some cool clips, read some cool news articles, please check out the website in the description down below. It's rlcsspotlight.com. But I'm going to get out of here. I will see you guys in the next video. It's probably going to be a power ranking and I'll see you then. Peace.